Chapter 25. If you stay. Dylan tensed at the sound of gunfire. When Skye slowed her jeep, he raced up and around her, tires squealing. Dylan rolled down his window. Get back up the mountain. Skye lowered her window, her finger white and numb as she mashed the button. Dylan, they might need our help. Wade and I will go. You go on up there now. No. Dylan, I can help. We can help. I'm not leaving you down here. Skye darlin', don't fight me on this. You need to get that boy up the mountain. Several emotions crossed her face, but he won the battle the minute he mentioned Jessie. She would always keep the boy safe. Dylan. Skye weighted his name with her passionate plea for him to be careful, to come back to her. I love you. Dylan's gaze locked on hers. He swallowed a few times so he could say something, anything over the lump in his throat. A soft smile covered her pink lips, and her eyes softened. I know. She made a U-turn and headed back the way they came. A warmth spread over Dylan's chest as he watched Skye drive to safety. Then he chuckled. Jesse's mouth had dropped open, and his eyes gone wide at Skye's words. This was all as new to the boy as it was to him. Another spate of gunfire grabbed Dylan's attention. He turned right on the first street he came to and searched the yards. Wade followed him in the red truck. Once Dylan found what he was looking for, he spun into a driveway. He jumped out of his vehicle and ran to a tall tree. A white treehouse sat in it, a long rope ladder hanging from its mini hand-railed porch. Wade was right on his heels. Smart. Good thinkin', bro. At the top, they scanned the neighborhood. Looks like we're on the right side of this fight anyhow. Dylan pointed out the far side of the small town where some men herded the sick. Other men, he assumed infected, shot towards townsfolk. The closer side of the battle was only a couple of streets from where Dylan and Wade stood in the treehouse. The people of Colton were fighting back. Looks like these infected found out how to use the sick to their advantage too, Wade said. Looks like. Dylan's heart sank. The numbers of the infected were far more than the inhabitants of Colton. The odds weren't good. You see Tom? Dylan scanned the fighters. I got him. Well, let's go down and see if we can help out at this party. Now you're talkin'. Wade clapped his hands and rubbed them together. Relief covered Tom's face when he spied them walking toward him, but his words didn't agree. You should just turn around and head back up that mountain. Skye would kill us if we did that, Dylan said. Tom tipped his head to the enemy. They're gonna kill you if you stay. Dylan squared his shoulders. So be it. Enough of this talk, Wade said with a gleeful tone. Let's crack some skulls. Well, you two up our odds considerably. Having you here is like having another mini-army. Are you done stroking our pride? Wade pointed to the battle. What do you got cooking? Tom raked his fingers through his hair. We're barely treading water here. We need to keep them from getting any further into town. They've already murdered 2 families on their way in before we could stop them. There were kids, and they just mowed them down like they were nothing. Wade bowed his head and shook it. Those infected, they don't care. Everything, everyone is nothing to them. My bet is they are just hellbent on destruction. Destroy this town and everyone in it. They're dyin' anyway. Dyin' in battle is a quicker, easier way for them to go, Dylan added. Regardless, Tom said, we've only got one plan. Stop them by any means necessary. He waved over a few of his men and began to outline his plan as the others continued to fight. The sound of their bullets are driving the sick our way. We need to take them down. A couple of the men mumbled, uncomfortable with what needed to be done. Tom reassured them. You are all deputized. Shoot them wherever you want as long as they stop moving. We have to stop them. Our families' lives are at stake. Do what you need to do to survive. Defend your wives and children. Those sick and infected are out to murder you and your loved ones. The Colton fighters began to make headway in pushing the central column of the enemy back. The enemy fell, some unconscious or dead, some rolling in pain. More than once, Dylan winced as his shot found a mark. His stomach twisted tighter with each hit. Even if they were the aggressors, it was difficult knowing he caused their pain or worse. Did trained soldiers feel this way, or was it drilled out of them? The infected had no problem shooting to kill, and Colton men went down. There was no choice. The enemy had no mercy for them, they could offer none in return. Flames erupted at two of the houses on the far side of town. The infected threw a torch into the third. Beside Dylan, Tom cursed under his breath. Would there be a town left by the time this battle was done? A bullet zipped past Dylan. Close enough the air stirred as it passed. There was a wail of agony as the shot found a mark. Turning, Dylan saw a young father, rolling on the ground in pain. Someone ripped off the bottom of their shirt and pushed it to the bleeding wound. Dylan pressed his lips together a few times. It would be of little use, the man had little time left. Dylan turned at Tom's bellow. While they were fighting the central column of infected, a second band made their way around to Colton's side. The infected moved toward the men's ranks, taking down those Tom stationed there. They also cut off Tom's way back home, back to Tricia. Tom gasped as he looked back at his house where he'd left his wife. I thought she'd be safe there. Dylan scanned the streets and yards. There had to be a way a few of them could get through the battle line to Tricia. But if there was, he didn't see it. What Dylan did see was a sky-blue Jeep screech around the corner. It knocked sick and infected out of the way, as it raced to Tricia's house. Dylan's heart stopped when Sky blared the horn and every one of their enemies turned to the sound.